First ride on the Mukpit. Sorry to interrupt. We'll get back to the first ride in a few minutes. First, let's talk about the unboxing experience. This is what their box looks like. It does have one dent right here. Looks like that's right next to the brake and where the derailleur is, so I don't know if maybe that just poked out, and hopefully there's no damage right here. It was shipped via FedEx and arrived rather quickly. Oh, there's another dent here. Looks like there's one down here too. I didn't see that. Hopefully everything inside's okay. We'll open it up and take a look. So a quick editor's note, I wanted to do a thorough unboxing and assembly video so you guys knew exactly what you're getting. So there we go. Looks like we got a box down here, easy to get to. This is probably your charger. So this is a 54.6 volt 2 amp charger made by Rideal. This is not a Rideal bike. Again, it's a Mukkpet XC500. So it's a 500 watt 48 volt bike, but it's the same exact charger as the Rideal LM750. Looks like we're gonna have to put the rear rack on. Looks like the seat's in there, it's just not tightened. This looks like the front wheel and the fender. So we'll just go ahead and pull this out now. What I always do, as you can tell, this is just freely spinning out of the box. So what I'll do is I'll line my forks up here to where they're straight, and then I'll line this on, and then we'll tighten this down so that everything's aligned before we even start putting the bike together. And then we'll put the handlebars on, and then we should be good with alignment right there. We may have to make some minor adjustments once we get the bike all put together, but this should be good. So I'll go in here and twist these down and make sure they're straight, and we'll get on with the handlebars. Alright, now that you have this tightened, you should be good to go, and then you can just put your handlebars on and then your wheel on. We got the bracket off for the handlebars. So if you see there's little rivets, little lines, that's where you put your handlebar, and then you put this bracket up around that and tighten it down so it's secure. Alright, so this is where we start adjusting our handlebar. I got it semi-tight, but tight enough where I can twist it and hold it in place so we can adjust everything. The screen moves, so you can move that as you go and tighten it down later. But kind of get everything lined up here. What I'll do is I'll straddle the frame and get it to where it feels right, and then we'll just make sure everything's lined up and tighten these 4 bolts down, and then we'll put on the front wheel. Now, flipping the bike around is probably the easiest way to do this. That's what I would do. Use a pillow. I have special handlebar jacks for this. I'm making a video about that, just so you know. But all you do is throw the wheel on, make sure there's a washer on the inside, and then the locking washer on the outside, and it slides right into the forks. So that secures the front wheel onto the forks. Then you move on to the pedals. That's self-explanatory. One goes on opposite than the other, and then tighten those down, but not too tight. Then we flip the bike back around and install the headlight and the front fender. First, slide the bolt through the headlight, slide the bolt through the forks, then bring your fender up over the bolt and then put the nut on the bolt and screw it down, tighten everything, align the fender, and you should be good after that. And then we move on to the back of the bike where we install the rear fender and the rear rack. Now the rear fender is kind of tricky. You need a really small screwdriver to get in to tighten it. It's just a Phillips head screw and then a bolt on the back. It's going to take you a little bit to get that done. Take your time with it so it doesn't fly off when you're riding the bike. But the rear rack is really handy to have. Throw a bag on there, store some of your stuff. And really, it's just 4 bolts. You can't miss the mounting points. If you're missing a bracket, it should be attached to your rack, but mine fell off in the box. Also, it looked like the screw was missing, so I had to contact Mukpit, and they sent me out a new bracket and a new seat. Yeah, the seat had a slit in it. It got damaged from shipping, and I talk about that next. What's going on here? There's nobody here at my shooting spot. And I'll show you what it looks like, give you a little overview of it. This is definitely not the full review. My very first day riding the bike. It's been snowing, as you can tell. So I haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to ride the bike. Alright, here's the Mukkpet XC500. It's a 500 watt, 27.5 inch electric bike. They say electric mountain bike. Probably due to the front suspension. The front suspension is super soft, no adjustments. As soon as you get on the bike, it compresses. It does have a headlight integrated, no tail light. It came with these fenders. They're just cheap plastic fenders, but at least it comes with them. Seems like they'll probably do the job. I really like the color scheme. I think that it looks good. Even the shocks and the wheels have that same sort of color scheme. They got the white lettering on the tires. I think that looks really cool. They're CST Jackrabbits, which I've never heard of, but CST, the brand's pretty good tire. The wire management up here is done really well. As you can see, the wire goes down here into the frame and into the frame and goes all the way down here and out to the motor, which is nice. Comes with the rear rack. Now this rear rack is real finicky. When I pulled it out of the box, I was missing one of these brackets, so I had to get a replacement sent. Also, the seat up here had a little slit damage from shipping, so they sent me a new seat and a extra, I think they sent me 4 brackets and all the hardware, just so I had some extras, I guess. And then here's the rear fender, again plastic, kind of cheap. The way you mount it isn't very well made, but they're free, so I think it'll do the job. So it's got a 13 amp hour battery, which is fairly big for the price of this bike. The bike's $750 on Amazon. They are available. I got my bike shipped to me in less than a week, I believe. So for $750, you do get the fenders, rear rack, front suspension, and you get a display. The Shimano drivetrain, which is a little bit different than what I have on my other e-bikes, but that's pretty nice. Everything looks really well. I think personally, I'm probably going to take the rack off and the fenders if I'm going to keep this bike, just because I don't think they look very good. I think it'd look better without any of that. But again, the free rack and the free fenders is a perk. I think it's nice that they offer that. And again, the front suspension is super soft, non-adjustable, but definitely I think it's better than not having it, so you have the ability to hop over curbs or if you hit potholes or anything. It is winter. And this is just my first overall ride. I will be doing a full review, some distance testing, things like that. The battery is different than the Rideal, so you won't be able to swap back and forth. The plate's different. It's got disc brakes, Tetro, pretty decent. Just mechanical disc brakes on front and back. 180 millimeter rotor on the front and 160 on the back. I'm just happy I finally got a good day to come out here and test this out. And by nice, it's like 50, which is warmer than it's been in a while. As you can see over here, all the snow is melting, but we got about 7 inches of snow, I think. Alright, more riding. As soon as you get on this bike, the suspension collapses. And it's super soft. Let's use throttle only for a bit. I think you could improve the ride experience with this by adding a higher set of handlebars like I did on the Rideal. You gotta think, well, the Rideal right now is $8.99, so how the hell do I get over there? I don't. They didn't even plow the damn sidewalk off. Well, I guess I'll go back the way I came. Am I supposed to like drive through that? Guess not. Oh. Good thing I got suspension on the front. I do want to take this bike out and test it on some trails, see how it does. See if I can get it to, see if it'll bottom out or anything when I'm riding it. I'm sure it will. These aren't the best shocks that you can get. Alright, let's take a stroll back home. This definitely feels like the Rideal. As far as when I had my Rideal stock, it feels a lot like that. Except for the suspension and the display. Now this bike, I believe, is made by Rattan, as my other bike has the exact same display, and when they sent me the new seat has Rattan on it. So it wouldn't be surprising if it was made by the same company. Now I'm going down this road because it's a little bumpy. Actually, I think the road before this one is actually worse. But yeah, the suspension definitely works good. At least for street riding. So far I haven't gotten wet, so the fenders are doing their job with all this melted snow. I don't want to get it too wet because I gotta take it back home right after this. but I don't hear any dings or creaks or anything. It is really solid. I did have one tiny scratch on the frame. You can't even really see it. Definitely due to shipping. The box was a little damaged. And I don't know if this one will be out before my update video, but I do have another bike that I received and one coming. I'm going to be doing a fat tire showdown, a fat tire e-bike showdown, where I review 4 different fat tire e-bikes, give my comparisons, and I'm pretty sure I already know which one's going to be the winner. But that'll be a pretty long process for making that video. But I do plan to do a channel update here soon, let you guys know what's going on, what's coming. So stay tuned for that. Now this ain't no $7,000 e-bike like David Brand New had. It doesn't do 35 miles an hour. It's not as sleek looking, but it's 1/10 of the price, so is it really worth it to get a $7,000 e-bike? I don't think so. Unless you're getting a Sur-Ron with a 72 volt kit, which is my goal. Well, that'll wrap it up for today. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about this bike or have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll either answer your comment or talk about it in my next video, depending on what you ask. And make sure you go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one.